Hello and welcome to today's session of Every Mark Matters. Today we are having a look at Edexcel History paper to the American West. And our question of the day is write a narrative account analysing the key events of conflicts between the US government and the Plains Indians in the years 1862 to 1868. And this is an 8-mark question. This, ladies and gents, is a challenging question, but what we're going to do is we're going to go for 8 marks and I'm going to show you how to do that. So, just like every single question, this question is made up of 3 components. Our command phrase is write a narrative account. What this means is you must tell the story. That will consist of beginning, middle, and ends. We'll come back to that. Actually very shortly. Our focus of the question is conflicts between the U.S. government and the Plains Indians in the years 1862 to 1868. So why don't you right now just annotate the word focus with what you know about that very topic. Press pause. I'll see you shortly. So, let's have a quick look then, shall we? Okay, so first and foremost, we have got Little Crow's War. 1862. We also have the Sand Creek Massacre. And then finally, we have got Red Cloud's War. And again, if we're thinking about conflicts, well, that is entirely because of reservations. Why did that create conflict? Well, just a polite reminder is that by this point, that the indigenous peoples are reliant on the US government. Alright? And again, this is very, very, very important because what you have is Little Crow's War of 1862 that is caused by starving tribes. And again, Little Crow's War, they go to war and attack settlers. We then have this element of distrust where you've got the Sand Creek Massacre where Indians are slaughtered, which culminates finally, all of this conflict finally culminates in Red Cloud's War of 1866 to 68. And within this period we have Red Cloud defeats the US government. So our second order concept is narrative account, and what that basically means is the question is asking you to discuss or analyse the chronology. And what that means is you must use phrases like this led to or as a result. And again, I'm going to go straight back to telling the story. Now, this question is an 8-mark question. This is the only question in which you break the rule of 1 paragraph for every 4 marks, because you are going to spend 15 minutes on this question and you are going to write down 3 paragraphs. So, as we're about to start, let me talk you through some success criteria. Our success criteria is simple. This question is assessed in AO1, that's your knowledge. AO2, that's your explanation. And we are going for level 3 and level 4. Again, a polite reminder, level 3 does not necessarily mean that you are a grade 3, it's the quality of your answer. Likewise, a level 4 does not necessarily mean that you are a grade 4, it's the quality of your answer. If you are consistently getting level 4s across all of your exam questions, that means you are 8 and 9 material. If you are consistently getting level 3s across the boards, that means you are 5, 6, 7 material. So let's have a quick look here. So firstly, this must always be in chronological order. And that is the same in both levels. You must specifically have at least one event per paragraph. And what do I mean by event? I mean one fact and about an event per paragraph. And again, in terms of explanation, you must have links between events. For level 4, you must have 2 facts per para. You must have 3 events. And then finally, for level 4, you must have a little motif, a story that creates links. That links together the narrative. And again, let me just demonstrate what I mean by that. So, for example, if we were, now this is quite an easy one here because it actually mentions one of our consequences in the question. So let's just say we are referring to a conflict. So if the overall narrative here is conflict, and we're having to think about, well, why did it create conflict? Well, it's because of reservations / distrust. So what you're going to do, if that's your motive, so you are going to have a 2-sentence summary. Then you are going to have event 1. Event 1. Event 2. Event 3. And then you are going to have, again, a summary of the story. And what you are going to do is this motif simply bounces its way through the story as you are constantly referring to how it created conflict or how it led to distrust between the indigenous peoples and the Plains Indians. So, ladies and gents, let's have a little go. You are now going to have 15 minutes to write a narrative account analysing the key events of the conflicts between the US government and the Plains Indians in 1862 to 1868. I'm going to suggest, and I'm hoping you've got the same notes here, that you start with Little Crow's War, Sand Creek Massacre, and Red Cloud's War. Okay, 15 minutes. Set a timer on your phone. Get cracking. Okay, welcome back. Right, so I'm hoping there that you have spent 15 minutes writing a narrative account analysing the key events of the conflicts between the US government and the Plains Indians in the years 1862 to 1868. Again, a reminder of the success criteria that you've just been thinking about is for AO1, we're aiming for chronological order all the way. We're going for 2 facts per paragraph, 3 events. We're going for a bit of a story and a motif and links and the story that links together the narrative. We are hoping to have a bit of an introduction, 1 event, 2 event, 3 event, and then linking those together with our motif. Let's have a little look at my answer. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to mark mine using AO1 and AO2. And remember, AO2 is your knowledge, and AO2 is your explanation. Right, let's have a quick look then. So, I'm very conscious of my handwriting, so I'm going to read it out to you. The Indian Wars within the period 1862 to 1868, demonstrating of escalating conflict and tensions because of frustration over the reservation systems, anger over the government treatment, and white settlers breaking the 1851 Fort Laramie Treaty. So, first and foremost, I've got plenty of knowledge there. And again, what you'll see is demonstration of escalating conflict. There is my motif. So here, you can see is I've got my AO2 here, and I'm linking it together. So this is my summary, where I introduce the motif. Okay, right, let's have a little look then at paragraph number 1. Firstly, in 1862, Little Crow's War started after 12,000 Sioux began to starve after moving onto a reservation, leading to desperate natives stealing from the US government. After losing land, the Sioux attacked white settlers, stole food, and killed 600 settlers and soldiers. As a result of this conflict, 38 Sioux and Little Crow were publicly executed, creating further distrust, tension, and escalation. So again, I've got loads of knowledge here, just sort of telling the story. And here is my AO2. There's my link, or there's me going straight back to my motif about distrust, tension, and escalation. Next, in 1864, do you know what I'm missing here? Is I might actually change this whole structure here, and I might change it to this led to, and I might just move that sentence there to down here. This led to 130 Indians massacred at the Sand Creek Massacre in 1864. So the reason why I'm using this led to, it allows us to constantly create the story. Next isn't necessarily a bad thing, but the use of this led to there, it creates these nice little links. This led to 138 Indians being massacred at the Sand Creek Massacre by the US Army in 1864. The Indians were led by Black Kettle. We're moving onto reservations. Were attacked by Colonel John Chivington, who believed Black Kettle's Indians to be hostile. AO1 again. The US admitted that they were in the wrong and agreed to move the Indians onto better quality reservations, but never made any payments contributing to further tension. So again, I've got 2 events, so I've got 1 event there, 1 event there, 1 fact there, 1 fact there, and again, here is my AO2 there is my link, and I'm linking it back to the whole summary here. So let's have a look at my final paragraph. Finally, in 1868, a gold rush through the Bozeman Trail, in 1868, a gold rush through the Bozeman Trail cut through hunting grounds, beginning Red Cloud's War. Red Cloud led the Sioux to attack the forts and settlers along the trail, with 80 soldiers being massacred at Fetterman's Trap. This military success led to the Second Fort Laramie Treaty, which closed the Bozeman Trail and created the Great Sioux Reservations, which demonstrates a change in power dynamics, with the US government giving into Indian demands. So there's my AO2 there. So it's very brief, and it's not a great deal of depth. All I'm doing is I'm just repeating the motif about how things are changing. Ultimately, the Indians and the Indian Wars showcase the impacts of poor quality reservations on the Indians, along with broken promises of the US government, explaining why the Indians went to war with the whites in the period. So, if I were to go straight back, and again what I've done here, there's my motif, so again all of this is AO2, and if I were to go straight back to my success criteria, well, if I just have a quick look here, is it in chronological order? Absolutely. Have I got one fact per paragraph? That should say facts, not event. Have I got one fact per paragraph? Absolutely. Well, is it in chronological order? Absolutely. Is there 2 facts per paragraph? Absolutely. Do I have 3 events? Right, so in terms of my AO1, it is level 4. Okay, let's have a look at my AO2 then. So have I got links between events? Yeah, I absolutely have, yeah? Is there a motif and story that links together the narrative? I would say so, but do you know what? In hindsight, I think my link is fairly weak in some sentences. So I'll tell you what I'm going to do is I'm going to give myself a level 4. I'm going to put level 4 minus, and I'm probably going to give myself, being exceptionally harsh, it might be that out of 8, but what's more likely going to happen is the examiner is going to give it a 7 out of 8, as we are told to be kinder. So how do I push this up to 8 out of 8? So what I want to do here is I want to add in this led to each paragraph, and I want to again just reiterate the narrative here. So this created tension because this led to 138 Indians being massacred. This showed tension because, and then finally, if I just go straight onto my back one, alright, so my whole motif is all about tension and about escalating tensions between the two. This shows the changes because. And I think that just by adding in those simple sentences will push me up to 8 out of 8. But a challenging question, one that is very likely to come up in the 2026 exam series. Have a go at your own, and I look forward to reading it in person. Thank you very much for your time. I'll see you next time.